You tell me.
Oh, you've come in to sort her hair. Thanks.
Text me. Come and fit. It's okay. The are going down because she's ate me. It's not the one, is it?
Oh, God. It's Halloween and you're chucking out all sorts of venom over there today.
Well, I must say, your costume's fantastic.
She's 34, she's living in my loft.
I was actually personally robbed of the Ballon d'Or.
Reality star royalty, was that my intro?
Do you go to most of the games?
Every Sunday.
Really?
It's taken over my life. Cool. I mean, how much time you got?
It's deep.
When my old man passed, right, there was I was all over the place. There is a George Best factor, and it always is brought up, and I respect it, and I love it.
Don't mind me saying. You're looking a bit heavy, Calum.
I didn't do it like that, because there's rules and regulations here.
Of course.
Yeah,
Just get in our DMs, Calum, it's fine.
I've just flung you under the bus.
I did try, no.
Hello and welcome back to The Kickback. My name is Shabana Hearn and I'm joined by my really evil professional footballer, only just sister, Rusha Littlejohn on the show today. We have coming up for you, reality star royalty, Calum Best will be with us in the studio to tell us why he's ditched the telly for the touchline. He's taken over as chairmanship of fifth tier Dorking Wanderers Women. It'll be good to speak to him. Plus, head of F1 Academy and driver ambassador for Aston Martin, Jessica Hawkins, joins us from Silverstone to talk about how their Girls Will campaign has gone so far this month. So stay tuned for all of that and much, much more. It's Halloween and you're chucking out all sorts of venom over there today.
Well, I must say, your costume's fantastic. You look terrifying.
I didn't even know that you had your mask coming in with you today. That was terrible.
That was terrible. I already done you, so you can't redo me with that. Anyway, however, Halloween, I've got my hair down. I'm trying to get used to it. It's tough, I'm not going to lie. It's tough.
It's because
I've not had it down in so long. That's why.
Because every day you just put it back in a ponytail that the front of your hair is now adjusted to life back there.
Yeah.
And now you've taken it down. It's like, what the fuck's going on?
It's because I'm an athlete, if you don't know. Unlike you, because I'll get to that later in the show.
By the way, she's been hammering me this morning. And listen, it's no wonder you can't tie down any sort of relationship over there. She's 34, she's living in my loft.
Treat them mean, keep them keen is what I stand by. So
should we be nicer to each other now?
No, I don't think we get anywhere.
Okay, brilliant. Good chat. We were talking about your hair, but also in the makeup room, by the way, we need to live stream the makeup chats.
Oh yeah.
Before we come on air.
That's where all the chat happens.
Yeah.
So it's like the physio room or the changing room and the women's football environment. I'm guessing like the makeup room is where the chat goes down, which is good. It's nice to see that you actually have a bit of banter.
Speaking of which, the conversation, and if you're watching this, obviously some people are not happy with the fact that Risha got lip filler and I get Botox and now she's got hair extensions. Who cares? Worry about your own.
It won't be that when I'm campaigning adverts. I'll be the face of L'Oreal soon.
A few people have said that you don't have to get any of that in your face, you know, embrace who you are, embrace that everything's natural. I'm like, no, we're going hard.
Never embrace anything that's natural unless you're good looking, is what I would say. So when you're sitting in here and you've got lights and cameras on you and it shows everything up, you have to do it. Yeah. Guess what else we're getting sorted?
Our rails.
For anyone that doesn't know what that is, it's your teeth. It's your teeth. I look like my dog Stan, God love him. He's passed away many moons ago. But he lost his teeth and his tongue was hanging in his mouth. But before he lost his teeth, they were all like this. Yeah. All over to that side. So
did your teeth manage to go in that direction?
So basically they'd say to me, I knew I had got, what do you call that, a molar removed. So it was
wisdom tooth?
Wisdom tooth, same thing, same whatever. So I got my bottom left one removed. So I had a back brace on, so they've all shifted. So that's why I look like I'm in pain. But I'm not in pain. Anyway, I'll be stunning soon.
You will be stunning soon. Speaking of stunning, did you see Aitana Bonmati at the Ballon d'Or?
Yeah.
I love the outfit, 2-time Ballon d'Or.
Yeah.
Did she not look absolutely incredible?
She did. She is
your crush?
Do you know, I say that she is my crush. Like I do it because she's just absolutely fantastic. I do have a few female crushes, but she's up there in like the footballing world. Although she has to, because she's obviously wearing football boots all the time, she has to learn to walk on her heels. It's like me and her would be walking down there like swaggering down the gaff. So we'll practice that together.
Anyone else going to get hit with any abuse this
Well, I
morning?
feel like I was actually personally robbed of the Ballon d'Or. You'd at least think I was in the top 30 nominations, wouldn't you? And I'm not. It's an absolute shambles.
They need to create a new competition called the Barn Door for people like Russia.
That would be good. The Barn d'Or.
Why
Like
don't
we
we
could
start
stage it in the championship.
The worst players ever play football. And then...
No, because then I might be like number one. I can't be the worst. I'm not that bad.
So it's like with the base of a bad bunch
Yes,
competition.
so it's like,
really nice.
that's why I'm like, we zone in on the champ.
Right.
You know what I mean? I love to hammer the champ, so...
You can't keep hammering your own
I can.
league. Listen, don't be saying that, because Calum Best, his club are in like...
Yeah, but that's a different
5.
story. He's on that journey. He's on the journey of taking him to the top.
You're also
Well, we'll get into that. I've got a lot of questions. So.
lot of questions for our Calum Best, who's lovely, good chat.
Yeah.
So we'll have a nice chat.
He's also easy on the eye. Am I okay to say that?
Well, I don't know, because like we're just saying Aitana Bonmati's your crush, but you are she
but
is a
I am
lesbian.
looking for sperm donors. I make that clear. Am I allowed to say that on talkSPORT? Anyhow.
There's nothing wrong with being a sperm donor. Maybe you could ask
Yeah,
him.
well, that's what I will.
Hi, Calum. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Calum.
I have to say,
You're a strapping young lad.
and obviously the genes. Look, it's dad, of course.
Well,
one of the best
that's
that's ever been.
Yeah. And then if I have a kid that could actually maybe be all right at football, you never
Your
know.
kid could get the Ballon d'Or, you get the Barn d'Or.
Well, that's it.
That's perfect. It's a match made in heaven. We need to talk about Viviana Miedema. She's injured her knee. Now, what's interesting is that she said she's going to have a period of time on the sidelines and she had surgery in her knee, but you said that it's just perhaps a clear out.
Well, I feel like, yes, she's maybe had a wee niggle in her knee. I don't know the ins and outs of it. It could be cartilage or something. I feel like maybe she's just getting a wee tidy up in it. So, yeah, if you get stuff done in your knee, it's going to probably take a couple of months, maybe 3 max. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure, but maybe it's just to clear it out so that she's maybe pain-free and can run more comfortable. But we'll see. Maybe we should drop her a message and ask.
Yeah.
So I'm not spreading rumours.
But
look, it's common. I think it's really common after knee injuries. Sometimes when you get the surgery done, there's little tidy-ups that need to be done just so that you can be more comfortable and be able to train and play in a better place. So if she has to get this done and it helps her going forward, then absolutely get it done now and take care of it, especially before the Euros this summer. That's her goal. She obviously missed out at the World Cup and stuff.
The idea of getting your knee
She did miss out at the World Cup, if I made that up.
She did, my
She
love.
did, right, okay.
She did, my love.
So.
Of getting a knee cleared out, because I remember Millie Bright got a knee cleared out not too long ago. That's what took a while on her recovery. The idea of getting stuff taken out of your knee makes me want to actually vomit all over that table.
I mean, I don't really know how it goes. I just know we say, oh, tidy up, clear out. What does that look like? God knows.
Is it like skin or like fatty tissue?
Like floating bits of... I don't have a clue. Do I look like a surgeon? Do I look like I operate on knees over here? Well then.
Okay. Well, speaking of the bee's knees that are coming up for you in the kickback, Calum Best will join us live in the studio to give us an insight into his life as chairman of Dorking Wanderers Women. All coming up for you here on the show right now. I'm pleased to say Calum Best is with us in the studio. How are you?
Reality star royalty. Was that my intro?
Is that what it said?
I think that was what was said. But then I thought to myself, that's pretty fair. I've been doing that for a long time.
But from the telly to the touchline, I mean, that was a sensational piece.
I thought so too.
Broadcast journalism there, Calum?
I like it. I couldn't ask for a better transition, if I'm honest with you. I've been very grateful and lucky to do some great TV over the years, but also some car crash TV. But I like that it's actually led me here, so it's all good.
Thank you for coming in.
No worries, my pleasure.
I mean, we've got so much to ask you about in terms of like, well, you're a Manchester United fan, right? For obvious reasons.
Yeah.
But what still takes me by surprise is your involvement and your passion for women's football. I mean, we're all for that.
First one on Man United, I love the idea of Van Nistelrooy. I think he's genius. I watched the game last night and I thought to myself, what a great person to have. Who knows if it'll stay, but I thought to myself, there's a good look there. A random story, I remember, this is a bit tragic, but I'll tell you anyway because it's a bit relevant. When my old man passed, right, there was I was all over the place. I remember I was like drinking whiskey before this memorial. I was pretty lost at the time. And I remember Rude coming up out of all the people and like sat there and looked at me and I could feel his sincerity, like asking how I was doing. So I've always had a soft spot for him. So I liked seeing him on the touchline last night.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Oh, she must have been so young at the time as well, then coming up and having that conversation with you.
Yeah, and I was all over. I mean, I think I had just done a shot of whiskey at the bar. I shouldn't admit that, but that's how lost I was back then,
no
you
wonder.
know?
Yeah.
But yeah, transitioning into women's football, random, it just came about. Like, I've loved football my whole life. And when I moved here from California when I was 21, I fell out of love with football because I felt the pressure more than I had kind of felt it before, because it was put in my face a lot. And then a few years later, I started playing charity games, and I'd always go to United. And then I became a fan of Dorking Wanderers through my friend Mark White. I'm sure you've seen clips of Mark White on various bunch of amateur shows and stuff like that. And he said to me, we're launching this women's side of our team, because as a club grows, you need certain aspects of the club for the club to grow. And I think launching a development team, a women's side, the men's development team, and he asked me to do a little good luck video. So I grabbed the phone, did a, hi team, good luck, and all that stuff. And then I thought, that's really cool. What more can I do there? I asked him if I could sponsor the team with a business that I had. And he's like, mate, do you want to get more involved? And I said, well, what do you think? And he said, how does chairman sound? I said, sounds pretty cool to me.
Right.
And I liked the idea of it being kind of grassroots at the time. They were at the bottom of the football pyramid, as I'm sure you know all about. It was like, in some random pitch somewhere, muddy, nothing glamorous about it. And I loved the idea of that. So I said, yeah, I'll take the role. And here I am in my 4th season, coming into my 5th.
What was it that you wanted to get stuck into at the bottom of the pyramid? Because to me, I'm like, obviously you're well connected. You probably like think, okay, maybe I'll start a bit higher up somewhere.
Yeah.
Why did you want to go to the very bottom?
That's actually a good question. And I actually think to myself sometimes that part of it was the non-obvious bit of it that I really liked. I like to do things that are like underdog and not obvious. And I've been very blessed with great connections at United and Fulham. And there's all these different places that my old man played where who knows if maybe I had the conversation, something could come. Who knows what it is? But I'm like, no, let's start at a unique, random, bottom of the thing and see where we can go with it. And I also realized that those connections that you speak about could potentially help that club and help that journey and that team. And that's exactly what happened. As soon as I announced that I was chairman of Dorking, TV royalty, as you say, came in, and BBC got in touch, and they're like, we used to make a documentary called Squad Goals. Did you ever see that with West Ham?
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
Were
yeah.
you not in it?
I might have been in a couple of episodes.
She goes, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I heard about that
And then
once.
they released her.
I wasn't in it enough, I must say. I would have got the ratings in if I was a bigger feature in it. But anyway, that's
On that
not
note,
about that.
ours flopped too, to be fair.
Yeah?
Yeah, we did it. They filmed us for a whole season. I don't think it did that well, which I was gutted about, because I pictured one of those. And at the time, Wrexham, the documentary, wasn't out yet. So I thought to myself, that could have been us, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't meant to be. But it was a good experience for the whole team. And the girls that kind of played at the time, it followed their lives, and it was good fun for me as well, because I got to use the TV angle to gain notoriety for the club and for what I was doing. But as I said, it didn't go down very well.
I feel like as the club is growing, like you're on this journey right now, what is the ambition? But I do feel like if you start climbing the tables, there will be more publicity there. And I feel like that, because to me that's missing in the women's game. I think right now we've got like London City, we've had like Michelle Cannings took over. She's involved in 3 clubs now, and she's just wanting to grow the women's game. And I'm like, there's got to be interest here from people on the outside that want to come in and watch the journey.
Yeah.
And I think that would be massive to help grow it. But what is your ambition for Dorking? Where do you want them to go?
I mean, I don't sign up for anything without trying to reach the goals that you can reach. Like, you want to do the best with anything that you can do. And that's how I feel about them as well. But I realize it takes time, it takes money, it takes all these things. And we're not close to that yet. But what we have done that I've noticed is that each year it gains, as a club, we gain more notoriety, more respect. People are hearing more and more about it. And this season, for example, we had 7 new players come from all tiers above us. So I look at it like, if a player's in tier 3 and she's going to come down to tier 5, we must be doing something right. The club, Dorking as a whole, is well respected. It's classy. It's a beautiful ground. It has a beautiful lounge. And I think that the environment you create will bring in the players. And we've had some great opportunities. And what I noticed, I'll use one person example. 2 years ago, we went to the first round proper in the FA Cup, let's just say, right? The furthest that they'd ever gone in their 3 years. And it was a great day. We rented a big old coach and took it down to Portsmouth. And I'm going, this is our moment. We lost like 11-0, right? But in that game, there was a player who was their lead goal scorer. Her name was Sherelle Cassell, used to play for Ireland as well.
I remember her name, yep.
Yeah, Sherelle, an incredible girl. After the game, she sent me a message. She said, thanks for, and I feel silly doing it because it's only a small part that I'm playing here, but thanks for making a small difference in the women's game, right?
Great.
And I said, thank you, that's really lovely. How do you feel about coming to play for us, right? I didn't do it like that because there's rules and regulations here.
Of course.
Yes,
Just get our DMs, Calum, it's fine.
I sent a 7-day approach. Everything was fine. Everything was all good. But anyway, she came and signed for us. And it was things like that where someone sees the vision, believes the vision, understands the process and what you're going through and where you want to go. So she joined us. And it's a moment like that in the club where then you get someone from, a team 2 tiers above who says, well, there must be something going on there that looks good and feels right, good energy, all that stuff. So now we just keep getting better and better and better, and more players keep coming in. And with that, we will grow. So the goal is to take them as far as I can while I'm doing it. And I love it so much, I'm not going anywhere at the moment. So,
is there payment for the players at Dorking yet, or is that still something?
There's expenses. I don't actually, and I got to be careful about that. There's rules and regulations, but we're that close to where it should be, But people do get expenses paid, and there is money that is paid out, but I don't think there's any sort of contracts that needs to be had yet where we're at, I think it's going forward. I think the next tier is when you become semi-professional or even professional.
Okay.
What tier do you become professional? Is it tier?
I do not have a clue. I'm going to say it's probably the championship.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sure some teams down below will have expenses and they might have a little bit of something there for the players. But I think
Second
championship was where it would start,
Yeah, that's where we're at as well. There's other teams in our league that are, high-end, lots of money teams where they'll be being paid a lot more than we can afford to pay. So it's hard to compete with those kind of things.
So I know the league actually, just below the championship, they've got a few teams that are in a bit more. They call it full-time. They might train in the evenings here or there, but some of the players would be on salaries now. So
It's getting
I think it depends on the club and the ambition of the club and where they want to go.
Yeah.
I look at it like if this is their lives. They all hang out. You would know perfectly. They all hang out outside of football, inside of football. Train Tuesday, train Thursday, games Sunday, the whole thing. Which I know is what you do as a footballer, but you got to respect their time and effort. So I think they should be seeing something back without a doubt, even at this level.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the thing that you mentioned as well. It's like they have their jobs to hold down.
Yeah.
Some of them are parents in there as well.
Yeah.
But they're doing it because they love it.
Yeah.
And fingers crossed Dorking can get to that level. And it's funny that you mentioned, say, even Wrexham and what you were saying about bringing in personalities. I think it is something that we should embrace more, because look at what Rob and Ryan, like we're besties, have done for Wrexham, and even Brady to Birmingham. Snoop Dogg apparently is keen on putting a bit of money into Celtic, even though Celtic are doing okay. Just now it's the other side of Glasgow is having its issues, but it brings more eyes to the game, and I do think that you being involved in Dorking is good to get even some men to maybe even appreciate women's football a little bit more. How much of that nonsense do you have to put up with in terms of people going, why are you even doing that?
Well, there's a few things there. I think that everything helps. I think there's a lot of cynicism in that person's only going there for money reasons. But at the end of the day, I feel like eyes on whatever awareness you're trying to raise is always going to help. So if there's a person in the public eye that's doing it, it's obviously going to bring light to whatever the situation is, right? So I didn't join. I knew it might happen, but I didn't become chairman of Dorking thinking anything but that sounds fun. That sounds cool. I love football. I love the camaraderie of it. I'm getting older, which means I don't play as much, but I'm like, if I can bring my excitement to the game and my love for the game to a club where it's on the rise, then I'll give it a shot, But I think that when even the piece I think that we spoke about just a minute ago with the Telegraph, and I was really grateful for that, because it was the first time it was it's a tricky one with this, because I'll look at someone my age, and someone my age will be a manager at, Borussia Dortmund. And you think to yourself, that's a high-end, established, professional role. And then I'm talking about my Dorking team, but then I go, no, it still deserves the same respect as that. Why not? You know what I mean? These are people that love what they do. I love what we do. So why not treat it the same? And that's why I'm doing it, because I think to myself, and that's why I like to speak openly about it, although it might be tier 5, the girls take it serious. And if they take it serious, I'm taking it serious, you know?
If you've not got passion for it, then you've not got anything.
Right.
Everyone does it for passion.
But just to add a little bit of the counter side, one of the questions did you take the role because it was women's football? And I'm like, give me a break here. Yeah. I took the role because I love the role, not because there's girls girls playing football, you know? But that's just my colorful past peeking its head out.
Yeah.
You know?
What are you
And I mean,
talking
if it
about? We
was
have no
that-
idea
Yeah,
what
of
you're
course,
talking
of
about.
course.
Yeah, and if that was
Innocent.
you'd be looking to sign me, obviously.
There you go.
There's the face of Dorkin.
Apparently, I've
If
been
you
signed
st-
as
are you still
assistant
pla-
coach.
Are you still playing?
I am still. I'm hanging on by a thread.
Where are
Yeah.
you playing?
I am at London City Lionesses. We're in the Championship.
Oh, yes, of course. I see them all over the place. I
Yeah.
think, yeah, they do really well, don't they?
We're doing well this season. A lot of investment, but it's taking time. But the club is going forward, as we should say. A lot of investment.
Journey.
Big people in charge, new signings. So
Nice.
it's a good place to be involved right
Well, maybe
now.
we'll be playing you soon.
Maybe could be a wee FA Cup
We'll be
tie.
flying at each other now, and
That's
then
right.
I'll be scowling at you next
Two-footing
time.
you on the sideline. Watch out.
Interview that. And that's what you said about finding finances. Dorking, beautiful area, beautiful people. Mark White has done an incredible job to bring football to that town, right? They absolutely love it. It went from a 25 people watching to a stadium built with 3,000 people. But I'm still trying to raise awareness of the women's side. Sometimes there's 20 people. Sometimes there's 250, but I'm like, why aren't there 3,000, you know? Because the players are incredible, the games are fun. And I'm just thinking to myself, what can I do to raise awareness? But I think, and it must be, sometimes I feel a little bit silly speaking about it because it's been a struggle or something that people maybe in the game have been trying to make noise for a long time, and then I come along and act like I know what I'm talking about when that problem has been going on for the past 20, 30 years. I feel quite silly speaking on it, but I go, okay, as long as I can play a little role of trying to help raise awareness, trying to get bums in seats, trying to let people know that the game is good, be taken serious, all these little things, as it should, as the Euros helped, as the crowds now and the stadiums are full to the brims, you know? So I've noticed in the past 4 years more than ever, the awareness and the levels are here. They might have been like that before, but maybe people didn't know about it, you know?
Well, that's the thing. Even our league, the Championship, for example, like some weekends we could have 200 people at the game. Next we might have 2,000.
Yeah.
But now we're competing with the likes of Arsenal and Chelsea. If they're playing at home, the crowds will go there.
Yeah.
So it's a long game, I'd say, but it's only going one way. So
Yeah.
be patient, stick with it, and I'm sure you'll get there. But I've got a question. Do you get involved at training? Do you join in?
I did before. When I first came, this sounds bad, but when the BBC documentary was involved, I felt like I had to be part of it left, right, and center to make sure that I did the best for the show and for the team. So every Tuesday, every Thursday, I was there. When that finished, I actually thought I don't need to be there at training. Sometimes I'll go, sometimes I won't, but I'm at every single game. They don't need me there at training on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you know what I mean?
You're not up the standard, no? You're not doing...
They'd outplay me. No,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
swear to God, my team is incredible.
Yeah.
Some of them, I think to myself, I want to see them succeed. I want to see them thrive because they deserve it, you know? And like this Sunday, for example, in a couple of days, we've got the FA Cup, and it's the second time we've ever reached the first round proper. And if we win this game, which we should, which I hope we do, will be the furthest we've ever been. And I'm excited for them more than anything. But I'm the loudest chairman you've ever met. I'm on the sidelines. I'm getting yelled at by the ref. I'm outside of the box trying to scream when they're telling me to get back in the thing. But I love it. Without a doubt, I'll be the loudest man in the place. But
I love that you're there every week, week
Hell
in,
yeah.
week out, cheering on the girls. It's
absolutely
great.
love it. Like I just had a work trip away. I made sure that my trip came home today so I could be there this Sunday for our FA Cup game.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I
That's
love
good
it,
to
you know.
hear, Calum. I mean, your journey is quite interesting in itself. Like we touched on earlier on, what happened, of course, when you were younger, losing your dad, and the magnitude of character that he is in football and what he represents. You working in football now, but also your life. I mean, what is it you've learned on your journey along the way?
Cool. I mean, how much time you got?
It's deep.
You know, it's understandable though. I just feel like, as spiritual guru as this might sound, I think all those trials and tribulations, those highs and lows lead you to this point now. And I feel like I'm happy, I'm healthy, I'm comfortable. I run some successful businesses. I have a lot of good passions, always learning. We're always trying to do better and be better. But I think that I've had a mad life, you know? In football, I'm grateful to my old man and everything he brings. I love that I can go to Old Trafford and sit in the director's box and soak that up. I absolutely love it. And I love the fact that I'm 43 and I've worked hard to create the life that I've created, but I also know I had a foot in the door. But the flip side is you got to keep that door open. You got to prove yourself. And I realized at some point that I take away the pressures of being George Best's son and I make it just about me. You know, it's just about a life that I want to live and a life that I want to create, but paying respect to my mom and my dad for getting me here, as silly as that sounds. That's quite obvious, but there is a George Best factor, and it always is brought up, and I respect it and I love it. There was some tough times, some horrible times, but at the end of the day, I'm 43 right now, happy, healthy. Thank you to everyone for how I got to a position of being happy and healthy, you know?
I think that takes a lot, though, like mentally and physically. So what is it you do? What do you focus on now to be in the best shape that you can, mentally and physically? I mean, because hope you don't mind me saying, you look a wee bit heavy, Calum.
Wait, fat? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, I've been given all sorts of shade this morning.
I've been at her this morning. Yeah, she's bursting out her trousers last night, and I had to look at her. So that's a different story. But yeah, you look like you're physically fit and you're in shape and you feel good and stuff. So what is it you're doing right now?
Play football every Thursday. I play my 7-a-side. I like to train. I like to keep in shape. My mom is an absolute health nut, love her to bits. Yeah. She's like natural homeopath, like alternative roots. She's always trying to show me things. And I didn't listen before. That's why my past was so colorful. But then you realize at the end of the day, you should listen. So, I mean, I just take care of myself better than before. Listen, I've still got a little devil that's right there that says, let's go that way. And sometimes we might go that way.
Do you have a drink and stuff?
Yeah, I still enjoy a drink. I just was away, I had a few drinks, you know?
Yeah.
Went out in the sunshine, enjoyed a few drinks, but at the end of the day, I'm focused on my business. I've just opened a new restaurant. I've got a new project in the pipeline. And I'm back from my FA Cup with my Dorking team.
Fair play. See, our mum introduced us to wine, and we love rosy wine.
Yeah,
so,
fair.
You know, that's our homeopathic remedy.
Well, hers is red wine, and that's me. I've started on that.
Have you not thought about bringing out your own line? You've got a great platform to promote.
Right here.
Yes, exactly. Get me on there, giving it the old, you know?
Yeah. No, I'm on health kick. We're on Operation Get to the Euros, so I am focused until we qualify, hopefully.
So Ireland are close to the Euros. Northern Ireland are close to the Euros. England are at the Euros. Scotland are close to the Euros.
And we play Wales.
You've got and Wales. Ireland play Wales. So we need Roosh to qualify. Therefore, we need Ireland to beat Wales.
Right. Doable?
Very tough game. It's always very close between the two nations, and Wales haven't qualified yet for a major tournament, and they've got some big players that are dying to do it, so it's going to be a massive game. So
Nice.
yeah, it's going to be interesting.
But you've got like Scottish blood, obviously Northern Irish
All
blood.
over the place. I sound like a Yank, born in a place called San Jose in California, but Grandma was from Ayr, my mom was from England, my dad was from Northern Ireland, so I'm just all over.
Yeah.
Everyone else, I mean, I don't know why still to this day, but people think I'm putting on an American accent. And really, no word of a lie. It's like, you don't sound that way. Like, I'm not faking this, you know? Don't want to sound like a Yank. No, I'm just kidding. I don't mind. It's all good, but...
Our nanny is from Belfast, Northern Ireland, and there's a place just about an hour outside Belfast called Coney Island. Have you ever been there? Outside Downpatrick.
Yeah.
So we spend a lot of time there still, and it's the most beautiful part of the world. Like, if you're to be anywhere else in the world, if it had sunshine more often.
Yeah.
That part of the world.
I do love Northern Ireland. I go there a fair bit. I'm going there next week to see Carl Frampton about...
Oh, yeah.
I do these charity football games, and I did one at Windsor Park about 4 years ago, and Carl came and played, and since then he's become a good pal. He's a good man, Carl.
Good.
Decent footballer as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Manchester United just quickly while we've got you, because...
Are you still okay? Just want to talk about it? Okay,
Well,
continue. I'll let you go.
I'm focusing on Celtic being top of the league just now. I'll focus on that. But when we have to talk about the Prem Club, let's talk about Manchester United. Ruben Amorim, it looks like he is the man who will be getting the job. But what you mentioned about Ruud van Nistelrooy, would you think he's good enough for it now?
I don't know. There's something about old United icons that I like the idea of, but I don't know, that maybe that's just because it's you look and you go, I remember the heyday and I loved the heyday, so maybe we could bring that back. But we saw, sadly, that didn't happen before with Solskjaer. But at the same time, I think Ruud's, who knows, he could be the man for the job. I go on my social media, my Twitter, for example. Twitter can be a funny place, but I'm really lucky because it's all die-hard Man United fans that I interact with. We share pictures of my dad. We talk about football. We talk about United. It's a real negative place at the moment, when it comes to the support system for United. And all I keep seeing is that the new potential manager, I don't know if it's a definite yet, is it?
It's not.
No.
Well, I mean, they've triggered the release clause and stuff.
Yeah. Well, they keep saying, no, he tried to go here, there, and there, and they all rejected him. And then they're going, oh, but we're desperate for him. And I'm like, before it even starts, there's already skepticism, which I don't like to see. You want to see people being excited about something new and fresh, but...
I think it sounded like City wanted him.
And West Ham and somewhere else. I was reading all sorts of places.
His name has been bandied about, especially over the summer. But I mean, what he's done for Sporting Lisbon is absolutely incredible. but heavy lies the shirt at Manchester United. I mean, it's a different ball game completely.
I was talking about this to somebody yesterday on the flight back, and it was like, can you imagine people potentially turning down the role at United when it should be the biggest and best role in the world? You know what I mean? But because of the pressures that have happened over the past years, I can imagine some people being like, ooh, you know? When really you go, no, it's United. People should be desperate for the role, desperate to play in that team and in that position. So I think whoever takes the role, it's not going to be an easy one, but it's also manager of Manchester United or player at Manchester United. I don't think it gets any bigger than that.
I just think it's fascinating that since Sir Alex, no managers seem to really get to grips with it. So what is it? Is it the team? Is there something deep-rooted in the club? It's fascinating because, like you say, so much history at Manchester United, but they are miles off it right now.
Yeah.
Like, how did the players play like that last night in the Cup? That's the same team. They were relentless last night. Could have been 6-1 up in 40 minutes.
Maybe that is sometimes when a manager leaves.
I think that's what it is.
Get that ruthless life. But
shackles off, all that cliche.
And who knows? I mean, you never want to guess, but you think to yourself, who knows what was going on behind the scenes? And then maybe, like I looked at Casemiro's goal and I go, why hasn't that happened yet for the past X amount of time? Please do that every game, you know, because he's probably got it in him, but you haven't seen it because there's been this like dark cloud and this shadow over our club. But I liked seeing us thrive last night, but you just hope for it to be bigger and better because, as I said, United, biggest club in the world, it should be that.
Yeah.
You know?
And one of your dreams for Dorking is to go and play Manchester United at some point.
I'd love it.
Who do you support there?
Who?
You Man United or Dorking when you're playing?
Ooh, I mean, there's always going to be the love for the team that I was raised with, but
hope you kill them at the same time.
Yeah, without a doubt. I'll start with taking them to watch the game. I'm really lucky at United that I could say, do you mind if I bring the girls up and we have a box and watch the game? And I want them to experience it. I haven't done it yet, but it's in the top of my mind because I think it would be a great experience for them. But you know what I mean? It's a far away shot, but I think to myself, the path that we're on, the goals that I have, the goals that we have, why not aim for that? Why not aim for a game against the biggest club in women's football? I don't know, what is the biggest club in women's football at the moment?
Barcelona. It would be Barcelona.
Oh, you would say that.
Holders of the Champions League.
So wasn't Chelsea though? Are they taking a step back then?
Chelsea won the WSL for the last 6 seasons, is it? Yeah, so they're the dominant force in England right now.
Right, in England.
But yeah, and
Barcelona are 2 times Champions League back-to-back. They're winners. But I mean, the clubs are all just
you have to, Calum, see one of those games. Go to a Barcelona game or go to a game in the WSL, probably a Chelsea, Man City or Arsenal involved. And you can see the level of where the game is got to. I think you'll be fascinated by that.
I took the team to the final at Wembley a couple of years ago, and they absolutely loved it, as do I. And I don't claim to act like I know a lot about the women's game. I just know that I love what I know so far. And I know that what I see is progression, and I'm happy to see it. But the more I learn, hear about the struggles that had happened. And as I mentioned, I always feel a little bit sensitive talking about them because so many people have worked so hard for the past amount of years to get us here, you know? And I will keep singing it from the rooftops. I look at my players, I love my team, and I go, I will back you, I will back it, and let's see how far we can go with it. And if I can be a representative for the sport in my own little tiny way, I would love to.
I think the fact you've went in at the very bottom end and you're on that journey, like that speaks volumes of that you're fully invested in it and you want it to grow. So it's not as though you've went, I'm going to go to Arsenal here and just,
They probably wouldn't have taken me, to be fair. You know what I mean? I did try. No.
All in time. It's all process.
I'll take them there ourselves. It'll work out.
Calum, quite often on the show we have a moment where Rusha, well, today I've been getting hammered from my weight, my hair, my skin, other things, be the kind of mother that I am, but we call it the truth juice.
Yeah.
The Rue is in there for it's creative.
Okay, yeah. Marketing geniuses.
Oh, you know what we're like. Rue, what's your truth juice today?
I don't have one today, so you've really flung me under the bus. I do this every week and I don't think. So if you get any truth that you want to put out there, anything for you in the women's game that you've come across, harsh truth that you think, Cal's juice. I've just flung you under the bus.
No, harsh. I don't like the small-mindedness of some men out there. That's what I don't like.
Go on.
I'll give you a harsh truth. I sat with some friends of mine that I play football with, and they literally said to me, shouldn't the pitch be smaller? Shouldn't the goals be smaller? And I said to them, my team would outplay you all day long. And it's just this weird, small-minded skepticism. I know a lot of people are like that, and I know as a nation we're like that as well, but I just think, why hold it back when you can sing its praises, you know?
Yeah.
Why couldn't you have said that? Like, you have one job in the show.
I'm taking that seat.
Literally.
You're welcome. You are welcome.
I'm taking you to dorking as well.
Switch roles.
Yeah.
I'll take it. Calum, thank you so much for coming on with us. Anything else while you're here you'd like to tell us about that's coming up?
No, I'm good. You know, I'm excited about the fact that there's getting more awareness for our dorking club. You know, for some weird reason out of nowhere, this past few weeks, the awareness has raised. So I'm like, we're doing something right. So grateful for both of you for having me on, and maybe you come down, check out a game sometime, or even bring the production down.
Let's go on
and
tour.
Let's raise some awareness. You know,
Where is Dorking?
middle of nowhere.
Is it?
It's the middle of nowhere, but it's beautiful because I don't want to any locals. But it's the town emblem is a cock. And my team keeps saying,
She'll love it.
I love
My team obviously make fun of that. They say up the cocks and all that. I'm going, ha ha, I get it. But Dorking is a beautiful town. I'm trying to get more bums on seats. So anybody in Dorking, if you're listening, please come down and support, because the men's games are full and there's not enough supporting the women's games. So please come down and support. And you guys, thank you for showing support. I'm sure the girls will love it. I'm sure the club will love it. And I'm grateful for it.
Anytime. Calum, thank you very much for coming on.
No worries.
We appreciate your chat. Now, earlier on this month, we spoke to F4 driver Chloe Chong about breaking into motorsport and Silverstone's Girls Will campaign to encourage more women and girls to get onto the grid. To find out how successful the campaign has been, I got the chance to catch up with driver ambassador for Aston Martin's Formula One team, Jessica Hawkins, who became the first woman to drive for the latest generation of F1 car earlier on this year. Here you go. Joining us now on the kickback, it's the incredible Jessica Hawkins, former British F1 champion. Hello, Jessica, how are you?
I'm great, thanks. How are you?
I'm very good, thanks. Welcome along to the kickback. You're quite an amazing person of all your achievements. You're now the head of the F1 Academy as well. I mean, the list is pretty special here.
Do you know what? I sometimes look back at my career and I forget all of the things that I've done, and I forget how incredible my career has been. But yeah, I've still got lots of drive left in me, and despite the great CV, I've still not achieved quite yet what I want to. And I've got a good few years left in me yet. So yeah, but no, I'm very proud of everything that I've achieved so far.
Do you know what? That's so refreshing to hear someone own how good they've been. You know, when some people go, oh, you know, oh, but you're like, yeah,
I'm not normally
this has
that
been a good
person.
career.
I'm
No, it's
not
good.
normally that person. No, yeah, no, yeah, no, it has been amazing. It has been amazing.
What is it that's made you feel particularly this way just now? Has something happened of late where you've sat back and went, hold on a minute, it's been a good old time?
Do you know what? I actually went to the football last night with my friends. England were playing South Africa. Went with a couple of friends, and we were chatting about some of the old, because I used to race against one of the ones that I went with, and us as a group were chatting about some of the things that we'd done a couple of years ago, and I just remember thinking, oh my God, they were such good times.
Good stuff. It's a nice thing to be able to do. And your career has been incredible, not only for F1 and being a champion, but also then breaking into the film industry too. I mean, you're a stunt driver, for the love of God. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, an amazing opportunity, and actually one that I didn't know even existed until I did it. And that was really a case of turning a negative into a positive, because at the time, before I'd done any stunt driving, or before I really knew what stunt driving was, I'd basically run out of budget to go racing. Even though I was leading the championship that I was racing in at the time, I didn't have the sponsorship or the funding behind me to finish the rest of the season. And I had this opportunity to go stunt driving. I auditioned for a show that was called Fast and Furious Live, and I actually ended up getting the job. And despite taking, everybody around me's advice to not take it and continue on my racing ride, I decided to take it because my theory was that, I'm struggling to find the budget to finish this season, and I'm leading the championship. So even if I found the money to finish the season, I've got to find double the next year to go up the category. So I took the job, and it was one of the most incredible things that I've ever done.
Talk to me then about how it was you get into motorsports, because we've been talking about Silverstone's Girls Will campaign, and the impact that it's had. We'll get to in just a moment. But what was it that got you into motorsports as a young girl?
I was always a very sporty kid. I excelled at sports, but I was never particularly academic.
Mhm.
So I used to go and play sports with my dad every other weekend, because my parents were separated from since I can remember. And this one particular day we were playing golf, which wasn't my favorite, but I was open to the idea. My dad loved it. And he was trying to get me into it, and I just wasn't having any of it. But in the distance, I saw a kart circuit, and I didn't really know what it was, but I begged him to take me over there and have a look at least. And obviously, once we were there, I really wanted to have a go. But luckily for him, at the time, I was too small. The height restriction was way above me.
Mm.
And it must have just stuck in my brain, and I kept begging him to take me back. And we went back several months later. And I had my first go and completely fell in love with the sport, completely and utterly fell in love with it. So, and I wanted to give up all my other sports. I was playing football, I think, for Reading at the time, all those years ago, and I just forgot about all the other sports that I played, and that was my sole focus was to go racing.
I mean, it's quite incredible, and then everything that you achieved in it. But like you say, doing something that you loved, and I've got two young kids who are 5, and my husband and I are so keen for them to be in sports because it's good for them, you know,
Yep,
mentally, socially, physically, everything like that. And it's like get them into
definitely.
everything and then let them decide what it is that they really love. Haven't
Yep.
considered motorsports, but why not? And I guess that's part of this conversation is this Girls Will campaign from Silverstone is to encourage young girls to get into motor
Yep.
racing. How much
Yep.
of an impact has it had, Jessica?
Well, definitely. And do you know what? This is the reason that you saying that is one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about this, because I often think to myself, if I hadn't have asked my dad to take me karting that time, would he have taken me karting? And the answer is probably no.
Mm.
That's not because he's a bad dad. That's maybe because I'm a female, he just would have presumed that I wouldn't be interested in going karting. And I think how many young girls out there are there that have maybe got a bit of a talent, but they've never had the opportunity to showcase that talent?
Mm.
Because if they were to turn on Formula One and see 20 men racing around, would they even know that Formula One is a career path for them or motorsport is a career path for them? So I think that's one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about it, to be honest. And yes, I think I heard a figure the other day actually that Silverstone had seen a 10% rise on
Good.
the number of girls going at the age of 18, which is obviously a great figure to have, but we need to increase that, and we need to keep increasing year on year. And seeing the increase in female supporters since Drive to Survive has been huge as well. I can't remember the exact figure, but I think it's like 45%
Yeah.
is now female, which it completely blows my mind because those figures just simply were not there when I first started, weren't anywhere near that.
It's like baby steps sometimes, but is it still frustrating for you, Jessica, that there's no female in an F1 seat just now? I mean, how much
Um,
does that affect the sport and how does that affect girls wanting to get into it just now?
well, no, look, yeah, I don't think it's frustrating. I always question this myself, and I think, did my gender ever hold me back? And the reality is, I'll never ever know.
Hmm.
Um, but what I will stand by is that I don't think it has. I don't think my gender's ever held me back. I don't think it's ever stopped me from getting opportunities. But one thing I do stand by is that I do think it was more difficult to be taken seriously at a younger age.
Talk to me about the things that you mentioned earlier on that you haven't achieved in your career that you would still quite like to achieve.
If there's one thing that I've learned is that I've got goals. I've got goals I want to achieve. Le Mans is my goal. That's where I want to be racing. That's my dream. But you can never be. I don't think you should ever be scared to veer off of that goal. Sometimes, I've taken some weird and wonderful turns in my career that I never expected, and they've turned out to be absolutely incredible. So, whilst I've got goals and I've got ambitions that I want to achieve, and that I'm not, completely against alternatives as well.
Jessica, thank you so much for your time on the kickback. Keep doing everything you're doing, and hopefully we'll catch up with you again soon.
Thank you very much.
Brilliant to hear from Jessica Hawkins. More girls, more women, get involved in F1. Why not? You could be the first woman to do it. Thank you very much for watching The Kickback. Rusha, as always, thanks for being an evil genius. Calum Best, you're a legend. Come back anytime.
Thank you.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and we'll see you next week.